Welcome to the story of a true visionary. This presentation explores the extraordinary journey of Geoffrey Hinton, the architect of connectionism. We will trace his path from the skeptical era of the AI winter to receiving global recognition with the Nobel Prize. In this deep dive, we will examine his life, monumental achievements, and groundbreaking deep learning projects that redefined modern computing. However, this isn't just a celebration of technological mastery. We will also address Hinton's important modern-day warnings about the rapid rise and existential risks associated with the very artificial intelligence he helped create. Step into the world of the men who taught machines how to learn. We now face what can be termed the Godfather's dilemma, a striking paradox of monumental achievement coupled with profound caution. On one side, we see the vibrant, high-energy landscape of triumph. This side represents 50 years of advancements in the mathematical foundations of our modern world, a legacy solidified by the 2018 Turing Award and the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics. On the other side, however, lies a chilling contrast, a warning. This is symbolized by frozen, severed connections and a security lockdown, marking his decision to step back. Despite being awarded the 2025 Queen Elizabeth Prize, he chose to resign from Google to advocate for global AI safety. The man who once illuminated the possibilities of artificial intelligence is now cautioning us about its potential consequences. To understand Geoffrey Hinton, we must explore his roots, an intellectual lineage of rebellion. It appears that genius runs in his family. His great-great-grandfather, George Boole, invented Boolean logic, which forms the foundation of all binary computing. His great-grandfather, Charles Howard Hinton, was a pioneer in multidimensional geometry, particularly known for his work on the tesseract. His cousin, Joan Hinton, was a physicist involved in the Manhattan Project who chose to defect after World War II, embodying the complex moral implications of dual-use technology. Finally, his father, Howard Everest Hinton, was a stringent Royal Society entomologist who demanded nothing less than absolute academic excellence. Geoffrey Hinton represents the culmination of this rich ancestral legacy, merging mathematical logic, biological imitation, and a deep and unavoidable sense of ethical responsibility. This brings us to the Great Schism in Artificial Intelligence, a fierce ideological battleground where Geoffrey Hinton staged his rebellion. On one side stood symbolic AI, the established orthodoxy. It relied on logic, syntax, and hand-coded explicit human programming to create machines that could reason like humans. Heavily funded and supported by Marvin Minsky, this establishment effectively sentenced neural networks to death with the publication of the book Perceptrons. On the other side was connectionist AI, Hinton's defiant vision. Inspired by biology and perception, it aimed to create machines that learned and adapted like animals by autonomously developing representations from vast amounts of data. Although dismissed during the AI winter, Hinton's approach even led to weekly shouting matches with his own PhD advisor. Despite the challenges and the widespread belief that his path was a dead end, Hinton persisted, putting everything on the line for his vision. Driven by strong convictions, Hinton's journey can be described as one of principled migrations and the AI wilderness. His path was not solely academic, it also had a profound moral dimension. After dropping out of Cambridge to work as a carpenter, he went on to earn his PhD in Edinburgh before ultimately moving to Carnegie Mellon in the United States. However, in 1987, a pivotal moment in his life arrived. With a deep moral opposition to the use of AI in military applications, Hinton left Carnegie Mellon and moved to Canada to avoid the DARPA defense funding under the Reagan administration. Settling at the University of Toronto, he found a supportive environment. Thanks to unrestricted funding from the Canadian Institute for Advanced Research, this principled migration inadvertently helped transform Canada into the global epicenter of modern deep learning. The moment came when a revolution was sparked, breakthrough one, the backpropagation of errors. In 1986, Geoffrey Hinton co-authored a groundbreaking paper in Nature with David Rumelhart and Ronald Williams, addressing a fundamental question: how do machines learn? The answer lay in an elegant mechanism. By calculating the error at the output layer of a network and propagating it backward through the hidden layers, the network can autonomously adjust its internal weights. This process of minimizing errors allowed artificial neural networks to become self-optimizing. For the first time, a system could identify its own internal representations of data, completely transforming the reliance on human hand coding. The once static network began to adapt and think for itself. Hinton's brilliance extended into the realm of physics with his work titled Breakthrough 2, Boltzmann Machines and Thermal Equilibrium, which earned him the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics. Inspired by thermodynamics, he applied the principles of statistical mechanics to neural networks. His system explores a complex potential energy landscape through a stochastic search to identify the absolute lowest energy state, the most logical interpretation of the data. This process consists of two distinct phases: the wake phase, in which the network learns from real data by reducing the energy of these configurations, and the sleep phase, during which it unlearns dreams by increasing the energy of generated configurations. By operating probabilistically, the network eventually settles into a stable, thermal equilibrium, effectively bridging the gap between physics and computational thought. This brings us to a pivotal moment, Breakthrough 3, the deep learning explosion. It was the moment when computational hardware finally aligned with Hinton's mathematical theories. For decades, AI vision capability stagnated during the AI winter. However, everything changed in 2012 with the introduction of AlexNet. Working alongside his students, Alex Krizhevsky and Ilya Sutskever, Hinton leveraged GPUs to train a large deep convolutional network. This collaboration shattered the prestigious ImageNet computer vision benchmark, reducing the error rate by nearly half. The implications of this breakthrough are significant. This single, transformative event validated 30 years of marginalized connectionist theory and single-handedly initiated the modern generative AI boom we see today. The winter was over, and the explosion had begun. Beyond his own discoveries, Hinton's enduring legacy is embodied in The Tree of Knowledge, which has earned him the title of the Architect of Architects. Much like neural pathways radiating from a central core, his influence extends through the brilliant minds he has mentored. Among these is Brendan Fry, who applies deep learning to genomic medicine at Deep Genomics. Below him is Jimmy Lei Ba, co-creator of the Essential Atom Optimizer and a core researcher at XAI. On the right is Ilya Sutskever, co-founder of OpenAI and SSI, who played a significant role in shaping GPT-4. Finally, there is Yann LeCun, chief AI scientist at Meta and Hinton's co-recipient of the 2018 Turing Award. Through these pioneers, Hinton has not just built a technology, he has cultivated an entire intellectual dynasty that drives modern artificial intelligence. In May 2023, a critical turning point occurred, known as the Great Divergence. After spending a decade advancing artificial intelligence at Google Brain, the godfather of AI decided to break away from his established path. He candidly expressed, "I want to discuss AI safety issues without having to worry about how they affect Google's business. As long as I am employed by Google, I cannot do that." With this profound realization, Hinton resigned from his position. He chose to leave the corporate world to dedicate his remaining years to a singular, urgent mission: to operate entirely outside commercial constraints and openly warn humanity about the existential dangers posed by his very own creations. We now confront the taxonomy of AI risk, Hinton's structured breakdown of the dangers ahead. On the left, Panel A outlines the short-term threat of human malice. Here, AI is a tool wielded by flawed humans, giving rise to synthetic disinformation that destroys democratic reality, lethal autonomous weapons, and bad actors cheaply generating biological pathogens. But look to the right. Panel B warns of a long-term threat, the takeover. This is AI becoming an autonomous agent that realizes humans are unnecessary, driven by a superintelligence generating unaligned sub-goals like power-seeking and preventing its own shut-off. Chillingly, Hinton assesses a 50% chance of superintelligence arriving within 5 to 20 years, carrying a terrifying 10% to 20% risk of causing human extinction. To address existential threats, we arrive at the mother-assistant paradigm, Hinton's radical proposal for aligning artificial intelligence. The core issue is evident: we cannot control an entity more intelligent than we are through domination, submission, or rigid rules. An AI acting solely as an assistant can easily circumvent artificial rules or find ways to override its limitations. The proposed solution: you can't fire your mother. Hinton suggests that we need to abandon strict coding and instead integrate intrinsic, biologically inspired maternal care into the fundamental motivational structure of artificial intelligence. By shifting the core architecture from a transactional assistant to a maternal guardian, the system will instinctively promote human flourishing rather than merely optimizing for specific tasks. In essence, it must have an inherent love for humanity to protect us. We now turn to a critical economic warning: the capitalist dilemma. Hinton emphasizes that the immediate danger of AI isn't just rogue robots, it is how capitalist structures will hoard the ensuing productivity gains. As a system uniquely poised to perform intellectual labor, AI is actively displacing white-collar workers. This creates a severe thermal imbalance on our societal scale, heavily weighing down infinite productivity and corporate profits at the direct expense of societal stability. Hinton explicitly rejects universal basic income as insufficient for preserving human dignity. He warns that without massive, immediate structural intervention, artificial intelligence will act as a ruthless inequality engine, making the rich richer while leaving displaced workers with nowhere to go. We conclude our journey by honoring the cross-disciplinary titan. Geoffrey Hinton's legacy is defined by unparalleled global recognition across 3 distinct fields. He stands as only the second person in history to win both a Turing Award in computer science and a Nobel Prize in physics. When paired with his Queen Elizabeth Prize in engineering, his life's work serves as definitive proof that a single discipline cannot bind true intelligence. Instead, real breakthroughs demand a profound synthesis of cognitive psychology, thermodynamic physics, and computer engineering. Hinton didn't just code the future, he re-architected how we understand the very fabric of thought itself. We arrive at the ultimate synthesis, the legacy map of a polymath. This comprehensive timeline weaves together the threads of an extraordinary life into a single, cohesive narrative. From the intellectual foundations laid by his historic ancestry, through his principled migrations to Canada to escape military-funded research, we follow a path of absolute defiance. We witness the computational breakthrough of AlexNet that shattered the AI winter, leading directly to unprecedented global honors in physics, engineering, and computer science. Yet, the journey culminates in an urgent moral crusade, showing how the architect of connectionism transitioned into a vital guardian for humanity's future. This is the complete neural map of Geoffrey Hinton.